The Norman Glen and Eugene Burkett Nature Trails form a continuous path along Shoemaker Pond. Any time of year is perfect for a walk along the nature trails. There's always something interesting afoot. A leisurely stroll will reveal a surprising diversity of species and lovely views of the pond as you pass through the different habitats. Be sure to check out the signage along the way to help you identify many of the species you see. The section of the trail near the parking lot passes through a wetland woods dominated by red maple trees with scattered sycamore, willow, and black walnut. Be sure to look for alders, which serve an important role in the ecosystem. The symbiotic nitrogen-fixing bacteria, complex root system, and ability to form thickets allow them to grow in wet conditions and stabilize the shoreline, which in turn encourages the growth of other plants. One species, the seaside alder, is unique to Delmarva. In winter, look for its tiny cones, which are actually the remains of the female catkins after fruiting has occurred. As you walk amongst these trees, be alert for small, forest-loving birds like Carolina chickadees, tufted titmice, and Carolina wrens. The birds here are relatively accustomed to people, so they allow close viewing. Listen carefully for the soft tapping of downy woodpeckers as they probe for insects under the bark. In spring, their tapping becomes very loud. They use this drumming to establish their breeding territory and attract a mate. Also look for two squirrel species along the trail: gray squirrels, active throughout the year, and tiny eastern chipmunks, present during the warmer months. Chipmunks are especially evident in the fall, actively collecting seeds to stash in their dens for the long winter. The fishing pier provides close-up views of waterside plants such as lizard's tail, arrow arum, and pickerel weed. In summer, dragonflies dart about the pond's edge, and small fish, such as killifish and sunfish, can be observed in the shallow water. The pier and the wildlife observation deck provide lovely views of the pond and its year-round resident Canada geese and mallards. If you are lucky, you may even observe a shy wood duck quietly leading her family along the water's edge. In winter, these species are often joined by ring-necked ducks, hooded mergansers, pied-billed grebes, and tundra swans. Keep alert for the raucous call of a belted kingfisher, osprey, or bald eagle flying by, or a great blue heron quietly fishing in shallow water. The deck is also great for close-up views of red-winged blackbirds, which nest in cattails along the pond's edge. Redwings are especially active in early spring, when the males display their brilliant colors and sing their song in the hopes of attracting a female. Past the observation deck, the trail leads into more open habitat with a variety of woody plants and perennials along the pond's edge. This area is particularly active in summer, when early fruiting trees such as cherry and mulberry provide food for American robins, gray catbirds, and northern mockingbirds. An early morning or late afternoon walk may reveal a cottontail rabbit munching on leafy vegetation. Aerodynamic barn swallows, which nest under the bridge at the south end of the trail, are easily seen flying over the pond, collecting insects for their growing families. Look for the blossoms of the brilliant red cardinal flower and showy swamp rose mallow, a native hibiscus, as well as the more unusual groundnut and buttonbush. The bright orange flowers of jewelweed appear just in time for the start of hummingbird migration. Hummingbirds tap these tubular blossoms for their nectar, fuel to power them on their way south. Monarch butterflies, also stopping on their way south, may be seen feeding on milkweed. As summer winds down, other early migrants, such as warblers and flycatchers, can be observed along the trail. By late November, the leaves have fallen, most of the migrants have gone, and the chipmunks are fast asleep in their underground dens. But the flocks of chickadees and titmice are still working the woods and are sometimes accompanied by tiny golden-crowned kinglets and red-breasted nuthatches. In late fall, activity at the feeders picks up. Wintering dark-eyed juncos and white-throated sparrows join the resident northern cardinals and mourning doves. The berries of the gray dogwood and arrowwood viburnum in the bird-feeding garden also provide food for fall migrants and winter resident birds. At first glance, the trail may seem somewhat somber and deserted in winter, but to the careful observer, there is much to be appreciated at all times of the year. The Ward Museum of Wildfowl Art is a membership-based organization. To become a member, please visit the museum store. Mention the words Lemon Steve for discount on one item in the museum store.